Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. Never have I been less excited about a playoff game, Perna. Come Saturday night, we've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys. It's America's team versus the team whose coach might be a 9/11 truther. These two teams played week 3, with Seattle getting their first win of the season. And in fact, it was the first game the Seahawks learned they could run the football, with Chris Carson getting his first 100-yard rushing performance of the season. It was also back when Jason Garrett was going to be fired every week, and Dak Prescott was officially a bust, and Skip Bayless was losing his fucking mind. Both teams started 1-2 and are now playing Wild Card weekend. So let's jump into this shit show and try to guess without any sort of accuracy who might be the winner. Also, Skip Bayless has always been losing his mind. That's good sports. Please, if you're new to this YouTube channel, just subscribe here. And if you've already subscribed, click the notification button so you know when I make videos. YouTube makes me say that. I know it's annoying, okay? I know saying doing this shit is annoying. Especially since I gotta do it every video, but if I don't do it, I die. I die. Now, check it out. I do have a guest prediction coming in from 5 Points Bids. Adam, please tell us what you think about this game.
Yes, two teams we all love to hate. The bandwagon 12s versus, well, Cowboys fans. This will be a matchup that hopefully features both teams getting blown apart like Gus Fring's face. Do me a favor, can you name the Seahawks starting running back? I couldn't. He's not some Ewok that looked like he's late for his jazzercise class. It's a dude named Chris Carson, who quietly went 1,151 yards this year with 9 TDs and led the NFL's #1 rated rushing attack. Who knew that? I didn't know that. What does that mean? I don't freaking know. Dak Prescott and his gift weapon Amari Cooper, along with the Ewok and that tiny bastard Cole Greasily, will try to put up some points on the resurgent Seattle defense. Who will win this matchup of insufferable fans that have no control over the outcome of the game? In an answer that will satisfy nobody, I will pick the Cowboys at home while vehemently rooting for the Seahawks. Yes, Russell, it's going to be extreme diarrhea. Cowboys by 3.
Thanks, Adam. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel, 5 Points Bids. Adam covers all sports and is generally more successful than me on YouTube, so you might dig his shit. Metaphorically speaking, you do not ever want to literally dig anyone's shit, unless you're getting paid very well to do so. Now, on to the game. One huge reason the Seahawks should lose this game is for not holding on to a guy named Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson now plays an injured reserve role for the Houston Texans. But if you're stupid enough to let Mike Tyson walk out of your locker room, you deserve to have your fucking ear bitten off like the coward you are. Now, unless you're a Cowboys fan, you'd say Dallas overperformed this season, which is what even Seahawks fans would say about Seattle this year. Some idiots out there even thought the Cardinals would be better than the Seahawks in 2018. Some of those idiots make millions of dollars on ESPN and the NFL Network. Now, a major storyline for the Cowboys this season was how much better they got after acquiring Amari Cooper. In the Cowboys matchup against the Giants last week, Blake Jarwin, Cole Beasley, Michael Gallup, and Allen Hurns all had more receiving yards than Cooper. Now, tight end Blake Jarwin, of course, had 3 touchdowns in that game, which is good news for Cowboys fans as they desperately need production from their tight end to have success in this postseason. Amari Cooper really hasn't been productive the last 3 weeks. 5 catches for 31 yards, 4 receptions for 20 yards, 4 catches for 32 yards. But if you followed Amari Cooper, even when he was playing great football, this is sort of what he does. He disappears for a few weeks, and then he has a 10-catch day for 180 yards. As a Broncos fan, I have watched enough of Amari Cooper to know this. 2015, in a victory over the Broncos, he was targeted 8 times, had 0 catches for 0 yards, obviously. The next week against the Packers, 6 catches for 201 yards on 9 targets. If you're a Cowboys fan, you should be excited because Cooper is scheduled for a big game. Also because Cooper struggles against top corners in the NFL, especially physical corners, something Seattle doesn't really have yet. It's weird to say, but Seattle's secondary is no longer a strength of that defense. Only 12 picks this season, which compared to, say, the 49ers with their 2 picks seems elite, but it's not. And they've been middle of the road with 26 passing touchdowns allowed this year. But season stats are sort of meaningless. You really have to pay attention to how teams have played recently heading into the postseason. And recently, Amari Cooper is trending down, but Seahawks running back Chris Carson trending way up. 122, 116, and 119 rushing yards in the last 3 games with 4 touchdowns. Chris Carson should be the Cowboys' #1 focus when they play defense. This is a great matchup as Dallas finished 5th against the run, giving up 94.6 yards per game. If Seattle loses, it's because Dallas shuts down the run. And even Carson's impressive 3-game stretch came against the Cardinals, worst run defense in the NFL, the Chiefs, 6th worst run D in the league, and the 49ers, who surprisingly have a middle-of-the-road run defense. And it's not just Chris Carson, though. Seattle is the #1 rushing team in the league, just 7.4 yards better than the Ravens this season. Carson, Mike Davis, and even Rashad Penny battling against those Cowboys linebackers Leighton, Vander, Esch, and Jaylon Smith will be fun to watch. Sean Lee would be a great linebacker to throw into the mix if anyone knew if he was fucking healthy. Sean Lee, of course, got injured week 3 of 2012 and has never really been the same since. In terms of injuries, both teams are actually pretty banged up and at a lot of key positions. If you close your eyes and just point to a Dallas offensive lineman, you have a 75% chance of pointing at a player who is hurt, which is obviously not a good thing to help Ezekiel Elliott get going in this game. Seattle's starting corner, Shaquille Griffin, has an ankle injury that looks to be more serious than initially diagnosed. Running back Mike Davis and fullback Trey Madden, all hurting on some level. Not emotionally like me, but physically. Overall, though, I think Dallas has a better team, especially on defense. That's not to discredit the magic Bobby Wagner has brought to Seattle's unit. 138 tackles this season, and 1 miss. By comparison, Leighton, Vander, Esch, and Jaylon Smith each have 13 and 12 missed tackles. And they're 2 of the best in the game. Wagner is just on another level. He's here, and Vander Smith is here. He also makes the dynamic plays, the forced fumbles, the passes defended, the 98-yard pick sixes, tackles for a loss. But what he's missing is a partner in crime like Smith has with Vander Esch now. Wagner has 40 stops or tackles for a loss this season, but he's sort of working alone there. Vander Esch and Smith have 54 and 45 tackles for a loss. As an offense, you can run away from Bobby Wagner, especially with the back as talented as Zeke Elliott. But if you're Seattle, if you run away from one dominant linebacker, you're running right into an equally dominant linebacker. It's like when your doctor tells you your ailment isn't life-threatening, but your options for treatment are very risky surgery or living in pain for the rest of your life, which you can manage with addictive painkillers. The reason I believe the Cowboys have a better defense is because they also have an elite pass rusher in DeMarcus Lawrence. Dallas is the best team in the NFL at drafting edge rushers named DeMarcus. And even though their secondary isn't perfect, it's more well-rounded than Seattle's. Byron Jones is having a really good season. Anthony Brown is serviceable. Jordan Lewis is a talented slot corner when he's actually on the field. And if you don't have fun saying Chidobe Awuzie's name, you're a communist. Can you imagine how fun this game would have been if Seattle traded Earl Thomas to the Cowboys, like Thomas wished for? Dallas's defense would have been truly nasty with Earl Thomas at safety, but Seattle fucked him over and he broke his leg, and now Dallas will have to compete to sign him this offseason. Now, the Seahawks offensive line is not good. Well, they're good at run blocking, I guess, and Dallas is good at run stuffing, so those cancel out. But then Dallas has DeMarcus Lawrence, a huge advantage on the edge. Seattle's defensive tackle, Poona Ford, has been wrecking the interior like a Ford F-350, or like a Poona Pounder. He's facing the weakest part of the Dallas line, and Lawrence is facing the weakest part of Seattle's line. Those guys could be game changers. But again, overall, I think Dallas has the better team. You have the trio on offense and a better defense, but Russell Wilson, like 5 points mentioned, has unlimited diarrhea. So I quote tweeted Russell and said, What if they ask you about how much diarrhea you have? A fair question in my opinion, because nobody wants their alter ego to be Mr. Unlimited Diarrhea. So I sent the tweet, smoked a crack rock, and totally forgot about it because it was stupid and because I'm new to crack. But then the next day, Russell Wilson, in a roundabout way, pushed by fate or destiny or the Lord, posted this response.
Diarrhea poop. Unlimited diarrhea. Unlimited.
And since Russell Wilson acknowledged my diarrhea, I have to pick him and the Seahawks to win this game, say 17-16, on a game-winning Doug Baldwin touchdown pass to Russell Wilson. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Share this video with your wife's gynecologist. He will love this show. And you can follow @WillKey6 on Twitter, who helps me write all of these episodes. You can just enjoy watching YouTube for the rest of the day. I'm sure you got a lot of time to kill, so keep watching my videos would be cool.